Welcome to another episode of In the Field with McKim and Creed. I'm Brian Pierce, Senior Project Engineer, and I'd like to introduce you to the City of Cedar Park's Water System Resiliency Project. Come check it out with me. In February of 2021, the state of Texas went through what we like to call the snowpocalypse, better known as Winter Storm Uri. The Texas legislature enacted Senate Bill 3, which requires critical utilities to have a reliable 24-hour source of backup power. To that end, we've installed two 2-megawatt generators with 72 hours of fuel in the fuel tanks beneath them. The Cedar Park Water Treatment Plant pulls water from Lake Travis, treats it, and pumps it over the hill to town, maintaining continuity of power service so that they can provide 26 million gallons of water a day to the 80,000 residents of their town is critically important. The city hired McKim and Creed to help integrate the generators into the plant's existing electrical systems. Not only did we need to figure out where to place them, we also needed to figure out how to get them there. McKim and Creed's civil and structural engineers assisted in designing what's called a runway system to allow both generators to be skated into place rather than having to erect a large crane and lift them over the top of buildings and other objects. From an electrical standpoint, we needed to study the plant's load profile to make sure that the generators were properly sized and design the transfer scheme to allow us to smoothly switch from utility to generator and back to utility power. Over the last 30 years, this site has been built out with additional tanks, additional buildings, additional structures. To find the physical space to put two 2-megawatt generators in was an extreme challenge. We decided we were going to go ahead and 3D model this space ahead of time to ensure that every conduit, every duct bank, every foundation would fit as intended. For the owner, one of the most critical things for McKim and Creed to solve was timing. And in partnership with the city, they chose to pre-purchase the generators while McKim and Creed was still performing the full design package. These are 2-megawatt generators, each having a 3,000 horsepower V16 engine, which I don't know what to say after that because it just gets me all excited when they start up. In discussions with the owner, one of the things that they made us aware of in their plant was that if they lost utility power and power came back, the entire plant attempted to restart at the same time because all of the pumps were still being commanded to run. That caused significant power draw and could sometimes trip breakers or trip overload relays, resulting in plant operators having to run around the plant and hit the reset buttons and try to restart their plant. We offered a different solution and said, what if we could capture the state of your plant just before the power went out, command all the pumps to stop, and then when the new power source is available, whether it's switching to generator or switching from generator back to utility, we'll give you a list on your SCADA screen of here's what was running and allow the operator to one at a time perform an orderly restart of the plant. The city loved this idea. We installed new PLC equipment and new programming, and we've finished commissioning and testing the system. It works exactly as planned, and the owner is very happy with their new plant freeze and restart algorithm. McKim and Creed is proud to partner with the City of Cedar Park for their Water System Resiliency Project. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of In the Field with McKim and Creed.